Many Americans today believe that the Founding Fathers were secular men who sought to create a nation free from religious influence. This belief has been perpetuated through various modern interpretations of history, often omitting the profound impact of faith on the lives and decisions of these early leaders. This is a grave misconception. The narrative that the Founding Fathers intended to establish a purely secular state is not only misleading but also undermines the true essence of their vision for America. The truth is that the Founding Fathers were deeply shaped by their Judeo-Christian beliefs, and these beliefs are woven into the very fabric of our nation. Their writings, speeches, and personal correspondences reveal a profound respect for religious principles and a belief in divine providence. To understand America, we must understand its roots. The colonies were founded by individuals seeking religious freedom, and this quest for liberty was a cornerstone of the American identity. The founders were not atheists or deists, as some claim. While they held a variety of personal beliefs, the majority were devout Christians who saw their faith as integral to their public and private lives. They were men of faith who believed in the God of the Bible. Their belief in a higher power influenced their understanding of human rights, justice, and governance. They believed that our rights come from God, not from government. This conviction was a radical departure from the prevailing European notions of the time, which often placed the state above the individual. This belief is clearly articulated in the Declaration of Independence, which proclaims that all men are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. This document, a cornerstone of American society, reflects the founders' commitment to the idea that freedom is a divine gift. The founders understood that a free and virtuous society depends on a moral foundation, and they believed that this foundation must be rooted in faith. They saw religion as essential to the cultivation of virtue and the maintenance of social order. They knew that without God, there is no morality, and without morality, there is no freedom. This understanding was not just theoretical, but was reflected in their actions and the institutions they established. The attempt to rewrite history and portray the Founding Fathers as secularists is a disservice to their legacy and a threat to the future of our nation. By distorting the past, we risk losing the guiding principles that have sustained America through its greatest challenges. It is imperative that we reclaim the truth about our founding and restore the Judeo-Christian principles upon which America was built. Only by acknowledging and embracing these foundational beliefs can we hope to preserve the freedoms and values that define our nation. The Declaration of Independence is more than just a declaration of independence. It is a declaration of dependence on God. This profound document, crafted by the hands of our Founding Fathers, is imbued with a deep sense of divine purpose and guidance. It is a testament to the belief that our rights are not granted by any earthly power, but are bestowed upon us by our Creator. This belief was not merely a passing thought, but a foundational principle that shaped the very essence of the new nation. The very first sentence of the Declaration acknowledges the laws of nature and of nature's God, affirming the founders' belief in a higher power that governs the affairs of men. This acknowledgement was a bold statement, setting the tone for a nation built on the principles of divine justice and moral order. The document goes on to state that all men are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, including life, liberty. These words were revolutionary, challenging the existing norms and asserting that every individual is born with inherent dignity and worth, and the pursuit of happiness. This phrase encapsulates the essence of the American dream, the idea that every person has the right to seek their own path to fulfillment and joy, free from oppression and tyranny. This language is not ambiguous. It is a clear and unequivocal acknowledgement of the role of God in the founding of our nation. The founders were deliberate in their choice of words, ensuring that the divine origin of our rights was unmistakable. The founders believed that our rights are not granted by government, but are inherent, given to us by God. This belief was influenced by the Enlightenment thinkers like John Locke, who argued that natural rights are intrinsic to human beings. They understood that government's role is not to grant rights, but to protect the rights that we already possess. This principle was revolutionary, laying the groundwork for a government that serves its people rather than ruling over them. The declaration concludes with the signatories pledging our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. This pledge was not made lightly. It was a solemn vow reflecting their unwavering commitment to the cause of liberty and justice. This pledge, made appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, underscores the profound conviction that they were acting in accordance with God's will. It was a declaration of faith, a testament to their belief that they were instruments of a higher purpose, striving to create a nation under God with liberty and justice for all. John Adams, the second President of the United States, famously wrote, "Our Constitution was made only for a moral and religious people. It is wholly inadequate to the government of any other." Adams understood that a free society cannot exist without a strong moral compass. He knew that the Constitution, while a brilliant document, could not by itself guarantee liberty. The success of the American experiment, he believed, hinged on the virtue of its citizens. Adams's words serve as a stark warning to us today. As our nation drifts further from its Judeo-Christian moorings, we are witnessing the erosion of the very foundations upon which our freedom rests. The increase in lawlessness, the breakdown of the family, and the assault on traditional values are all symptoms of a society that has lost its moral compass. The Constitution is not a self-executing document. It requires a citizenry that is committed to the principles of self-government, virtue, and personal responsibility. The phrase separation of church and state is often used to justify the exclusion of religion from the public square. Many people believe that this means religion should have no influence or presence in public life, that it should be confined strictly to private worship and personal belief. However, this interpretation is a far cry from what Thomas Jefferson, the author of the phrase, intended. Jefferson, a key figure in the founding of the United States, had a very different vision for the role of religion in public life. In his 1802 letter to the Danbury Baptist Association, Jefferson wrote, "Believing as I do, that religion is a matter which lies solely between man and his God, he emphasized the personal nature of faith and the importance of individual conscience. That he owes account to none other for his faith or his worship, Jefferson was clear that religious belief and practice are deeply personal and should not be subject to government interference. That the legitimate powers of government reach actions only and not opinions, Jefferson argued that the government should have no authority over individual beliefs or religious practices, only over actions that affect the public order. I contemplate with sovereign reverence that act of the whole American people which declared that their legislature should make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. This statement reflects the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, which guarantees religious freedom, thus building a wall of separation between church and state. This metaphorical wall was meant to ensure that the government could not interfere with religious practices or impose a state religion. Jefferson's letter makes it clear that the purpose of the separation of church and state is not to protect the state from religion, but to protect religion from the state. He wanted to ensure that religious groups could practice freely without fear of government intervention. It is not a wall to keep religion out of government, but a wall to keep government out of religion. This distinction is crucial for understanding the true meaning of the separation of church and state. The founders understood that a free society requires freedom of religion, not freedom from religion. They believed that religious freedom was essential for the moral and ethical foundation of the nation, and that it would contribute to the overall well-being and prosperity of society. Today, this principle remains as important as ever. In a world where religious conflicts and government overreach are ever prevalent, the wisdom of the founders in establishing this separation continues to guide us. It reminds us that true freedom includes the right to believe, to worship, and to live out one's faith openly and without fear. As we navigate the complexities of modern society, let us remember the true meaning of separation of church and state. It is a principle that protects our freedoms and enriches our public life, ensuring that both religion and government can serve their proper roles in a free and just society.